Rasuke here, salutation, subscribe, and want to talk about Granblue Fantasy Versus, a series that is near and dear to actually becoming one of the most anticipated fighting games for me. But it turns out there's going to only be 11 characters, but there's just this RPG mode that fascinates me. And this is kind of the trailer for it. Once you kind of go through, okay, we got the fighting game. I think this is where most of the development went into, this right here. And what we're going to get with these 11 characters, yes, there's the DLC that's been announced, but you can pick your location. There's different rankings. You interact with different characters. Some it looks like will be, mainly just static characters you do not fight against or they don't join. Some are actually characters that are from the game. Then we get into the different weapons. They have different star ratings. You can buff, debuff, look at that, weapon upgrades. There are support items. Right here, we're seeing Lancelot armor himself up. And then we see here all the different weapons. I really love showing that. And it's in the cutscenes. I can't wait to see all the different weapons and things like that. But here, this looks like just a side-scroller, kind of like beat 'em up. And this really impresses me because you can play this multiplayer. That's right. Look at that. And more importantly, boss characters. Look at the level of these characters. These characters are both, 54? This one says 40, 33 level. I mean, it just looks insane, like a real RPG. Now, this is a versus against Lancelot. Two people playing against a boss character. You see his lifeline at the bottom. And this looks fairly early in the game because they're both level 9 and level 7. And there's a lot of data, there's a lot of information being thrown about in the game. But the thing is, are we going to see locations we haven't seen before? Are we going to see maybe even different effects we haven't seen before? I mean, look at Lancelot here attacking both Grant and Luane at the same time. And it cuts away so you can do your Skybound Arts, I believe that's what it's called. There was an item right there, arrows dropping from the sky. That's actually something that you can purchase, believe it or not. And here's Luane doing his special. But it looks like, it kind of stops there. I was going to say it's going to have more. Now, here is the item shop. You got your weapons. You got your support. All these different things. There's so much to take from this. But I just wanted to show. I will have another part where I kind of talk about this because it's in English now. But this is from the Japanese websites. And look at there. You see the arrows right there in the center. It's kind of moving. It's right there. The arrows that come from the sky and that sort of thing. But there looks to be tons of items and customization and effects. Even your skins, if you will, different colors, schemes for your character can be unlocked. I've also read that just because you complete a quest or a mission or whatever, you don't unlock that particular weapon. Maybe it goes to a different character or something like that. But here is a static screen. You see Grand here, level 17. And you see treasure chests and things like that. Here we see so much going on right here. Curse Tentacle, level 75. There's a weapon grid. If you look at the bottom, switch grid, weapon detail, skill on effects. Just so much information is here, and I think, like I said, this is where most of the development is. And look at these characters here. You have this troll-like creature with a huge shield and weapon. You've got a witch doctor type of character, And I really love the environment here. This looks like to me where they spent their development time, and it could really flesh out the single player, but also too, it's co-op. So you have something else to get to, especially if we're seeing a level 40 and level 50 of this. So let's go to the website. Website. Here we are in the website. In the RPG mode, experience the Granblue Fantasy in action RPG form. And from here, we really get to see that it will have beautifully rendered 3D cutscenes while playing through the story mode and that sort of thing. And I guess the RPG mode, because look, it actually says right here, fully voiced in both English and Japanese, which I think is also great. A lot of Japanese games do not do that. But here we go to the character upgrading and customizing. Enhance your character using a comprehensive system similar to that of Granblue Fantasy. By equipping different weapons and skills, the strategic possibilities are endless. So I know we've complained about the characters and things like that, but I think this is going to change the dynamics of a single player game. And I just wanted to zoom in here, even though it might be a little blurry or something like that. But we can see all these other weapons here on this weapon grid, and that it's elemental, and it shows you right here this cursed tentacle that I talked about before. It's HP, the attack, and things like that. And this weapon right here that kind of looks like a Qatar, which is a weapon from India. If you're familiar with Soul Calibur, it looks like the weapon that Valdo would use. At least that's what it appears to be. Uh, but yeah, these other weapons here, how does that affect the game? So right here, support skills. I'll zoom into this. Uh, if we look over here towards the left hand side, it says small HP restoration to all allies, miserable mist, hit to all foes, attack and defense. I mean, I'm actually excited for this. I mean, the more that I read about this, it just gives me more incentive to play this game in a fighting aspect, like a side scroller beat 'em up, but with fighting, you get all your moves, get all your specials. Plus, on top of that, look at here, you got regeneration too, you got clarity, you got dispel mount, debuffs immunity to all participants, full arsenal, instant skybound arts, standby to all allies. So who knows how many other support skills that there are. And I really love this. The weapon skin features allow you to apply the appearance of certain weapons to others, even in versus mode. So is this weapon skin just aesthetic, or does it actually do something else? Meaning, does this particular weapon, because it looks all nature, does it like heal maybe like 5%, or maybe if I charge up I get some health back, or it poisons, or it has an armor break, or so forth and so on. I really don't know. From that description, it sounds like it's just a weapon skin. I hope it's more than that, but they're even in the cutscenes, like I said before. All right, quest battles. Battle against monsters and primal beasts during the quest to tackle on your journey. Quest battles can be played with a partner either locally on and online. Excuse me. Alternatively, fight alongside a CPU ally to experience the fun of joint battles. So let's zoom in here again and slash through waves of monsters. You can enlist the help of the characters you've upgraded in RPG mode. Now, that's something I didn't even read before getting on this page. You can enlist the help of characters you've upgraded in the RPG mode. I mean, you see the treasure chest there. Let's slide this over. Fight against colossal primal beasts and special boss battles and experience a whole new level of difficulty and excitement. And yeah, this looks amazing. The other feature that I want to say about this particular idea that I know a lot of us have complained about because there's the versus mode here. But of course, you've got the library and gallery that has all the other content if you want to dive completely into the world of Granblue Fantasy. But these quest battles, the bosses, the weapon skins, the support skills, the weapon grid, the 3D cutscenes playing through the story mode, voiced in English and Japanese. That is, I think that's worth the purchase right now. I really do. I know it's only 11 characters, but this looks substantial to me, and I can't wait to play it. To see all the different weapons we'll see for Percival, or Catalina, or, Lowain, so forth and so on. Fairy, and how that's going to change the game. And another thing too, let me go back to this, and I'll try to wrap it up here. Where is it? No, I'll just go here. I'll just go right here. Is that this may be content that's not in the story mode. We'll see characters that, I mean, other fighting games do not show colossal characters like this in the story mode that you can fight. In a fantasy game, it makes perfect sense. Or this side scroller kind of like beat 'em up with like witch doctors and things like that. What other things could happen? And more importantly, what if they add new content for the story mode, for the quest mode? Meaning we're going to get new villains, new enemy types, new items, so forth and so on, and it'll turn into the Granblue Fantasy game itself. So I'm gonna stop right here and go back to one other thing, and I'll wrap this up. So once again, this is the RPG mode, and I just wanted to show the goddesses, like you see her back in the back with the plants, and there's a dragon back there, and it looks like they have some moves that just breaks your armor, and just huge screen effects that you just cannot, you just have to survive with your level, with your weapons, with your support items. And rewatch this. I'm playing it twice so you could just really see like some of the cool things, goddesses, dragons, colossus, things like that. And of course you unlock things. I know that some of these images that I'm showing you, different weapons and things like that, if it's part of the special order, like pre-ordering, some of it, like these swords right here, are unlocked in the game. They look absolutely fantastic. And there's a rumor that there will be some DLC with Catalina, and I take it maybe some other characters in a bikini. And of course, with that, you're going to get the different colors and variants and things like that. That's a rumor. I think it'll probably happen. Definitely in Asia. Here in the States, we don't know. But anyway, thanks for taking the time to look at this. I, for sure, am getting Granblue Fantasy Versus. Thanks for checking this out. This is Rasuke.